Madam, or madame, is a polite form of address for women, often contracted to ma'am. The abbreviation is Mme, and the plural is mesdames. The term was borrowed from the French madame, which means my lady. Used as a form of address, in speaking, madam is used in direct address when the lady's name is not known. For example, may I help you, madam? In the United States and in English-speaking Canada, ma'am is usually used, except in regions such as New England where particular ties to England still exist. Even then, madam tends to only be used when addressing the elderly, with ma'am being used for a younger woman. The male equivalent is sir. When addressing a letter to the holder of a particular position without knowing the name or gender of the addressee, it is common to write dear sir or madam. When writing to a newspaper editor, the correct English usage is to omit the dear, and commence simply sir, or madam, etc. Formal protocol: after addressing her as Your Majesty once, it is correct to address the Queen of the United Kingdom as ma'am for the remainder of the conversation. In 2009 the European Parliament issued guidance on the use of gender-neutral language which discouraged the use of terms which indicate a woman's marital status. In the UK, the wife of a holder of a non-British hereditary knighthood such as the German, Austrian or German-Belgian Ritter, the Dutch Belgian Ridder, the French Belgian Chevalier and the Italian Cavalier is called Madame. The English male equivalent is Chevalier. In composed titles, Madam is also used as the equivalent of Mr. in composed titles, such as Madam Justice, Madam Speaker, Madam President. In the UK, job titles such as President or Prime Minister are not used as titles, as such. By the precedent set by Betty Boothroyd, a female Speaker of the House of Commons is Madam Speaker. However, the title Madam Justice is used in third-person reference, Madam Justice Louise Arbour, Madam Justice Arbour. In the Supreme Court of the United States, the Supreme Court of Canada and the Superior Courts of Australia, rather than adopting the title Madam Justice for female justices, the title Mrs. Justice was replaced simply by Justice. Likewise, female presidents of the Republic of Ireland have preferred to be addressed simply as President in direct address, rather than Madam President, although Mr. President is in use in the US with there being no claims of discrimination, possibly due to the fact that there has not yet been a female president. In the United Kingdom, female judges of the High Court of Justice of England and Wales are titled Mrs. Justice rather than Madam Justice, regardless of marital status. However, female district judges are referred to as either Madam or Ma'am. Female judges of the High Court of Hong Kong and the Court of Final Appeal of Hong Kong are, however, titled Madam Justice. Military and police usage: ma'am is commonly used to address female officers of the rank of inspector and above in British police forces and female commissioned officers and warrant officers in the British Armed Forces. In the United States Armed Forces and the Canadian Forces, ma'am is used to address female commissioned officers and warrant officers. Other usage: madam often refers to an older woman who manages a brothel, escort service or some other form of prostitution, that is, a procuress. Usage in non-English speaking societies: in Singapore and Malaysia, some Chinese women retain their maiden name after marriage, and some choose to be addressed in English as madam instead of Mrs. For example, Mme. Chiang Kai-shek was used by Soong Mei Ling, wife of Chiang Kai-shek. References